Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Until My Watch is Over. This is a podcast where we talk about dementia, where we talk about how dementia is a killing disease. Matter of fact, as I've said before, it is the sixth top killing disease in our nation, and I honestly don't think that we really talk about it enough. So, in today's podcast, I want to talk about the holidays because Christmas is coming up. It's a little over a week or so away, and I want to know what you're doing. How are you getting prepared with your loved one for the holidays? Have you already started decorating? Have you already decorated? Are you getting, excited, anxious, nervous? Let's talk about some of the things that are important when dealing with our loved ones that have dementia while we want to celebrate the holiday season. So that is what our topic is going to be about today, is about how do you get through the holiday, okay? For myself, I'm excited for Christmas. This is a time of year that I've always enjoyed with my grandmother. And even my mother, before she passed away, was a special time of year. You know, getting the tree, getting the presents, the decorating, the cookies, the candies, the goodies, all of the stuff, the 20 pounds that we end up putting on because of just that time of year is just so joyous. But when you have a loved one that has dementia, the routine changes up a little bit. It doesn't have to completely go away. You don't have to just say, hey, we're not going to do that at all this year because it may be too difficult for your loved one. But I wanted to share with you just a couple of things to where you can enjoy the holiday and it not be too overwhelming for the individual that you're caring for. And for myself, like I said, that's my grandmother who is still with me. She just turned 95 last month and she has full dementia. She's actually in stage 5 to 6 right now. Some days she's 5, some days she's stage 6. So just give or take in that area, so you kind of can relate with where we're at in her situation. But I just want to say that when you're decorating for the holidays, keep a couple of things in mind. Okay, I'm not sure what your normal routine would be. But normally for our family, I'll just start with that. We have a big family, and we actually have 9 people. Nine. There's 9 of us living in this household. That's with my grandma included. And so we like to decorate. We decorate outside, we decorate inside, we decorate the house, and we do. We have Christmas music, we light the fire, we like to make goodies, cookies and candies and all kinds of good stuff like that. Now, some of this is going to be okay for your loved one, depending on where you're at and how they are. But one thing I want to just keep you really narrowed in on is keep it really simple. Simplify it. If you are used to being very over elaborate, don't do that. So, like, we put up our Christmas tree this year. Actually, my grandkids put it up for me, and my youngest daughter, who's 16. They did a wonderful job. They decorated it and everything this year. I just got to sit back and watch and enjoy them putting the tree together, which was a lot of fun. But they have learned how to do it all on their own. They said they can do it. Just watch, Grandma. We can do it. And so that was really exciting for me because I got to take a little break from that, but enjoy them do it at the same time. So normally my grandmother likes to put up the tree, but she's not able to do that. So we put up the tree when she wasn't in the room with us because there's a lot of chaos going on when we're putting the tree up because we have boxes and totes and all of the stuff we pull out of the garage for the holiday season that we're going to pull out to decorate with and get the stockings hung and the musical toys that the kids have. They have like a musical Santa Claus and a musical Olaf and get the nativity out, and there's all kinds of little things happening all at once, and that can cause overstimulation. So we made sure that we were able to put the tree up when my grandmother was laying down in her bed and wasn't going to be distracted at all with it. She didn't even know we were putting the tree up, you know? So I was kind of excited to see if she would even notice the tree when she came out. But she did, which she actually did, and she really enjoyed it. She loves the Christmas tree. She loves the lights. And every time she comes into the living room, she tells me how pretty the tree is and how much she really enjoys it. So it's not too much for her, that's which is good because that overstimulation can cause agitation, and we don't want to do that. So I wanted to make sure that when we put our Christmas tree up, that we literally got the mess cleaned up on top of it because you get too much clutter, and sometimes we have enough clutter as it is because, like I said, we have 9 people, and we all have stuff going on in our space. So trying to keep the clutter to a minimal so it's not too distractive, I mean, for your loved one is really important. You don't want to have too much going on around them because it does cause overstimulation. So definitely maintaining a simple routine, but be cognizant of where they're at and what they're doing at the time of what you're doing. Okay. Um, our family, we have certain things that we do during the holidays. So we have, Christmas Eve, and then we have Christmas Day, and we have when we do our stockings, when we do our presents, when we have our dinner, and like most people do. Now, here's the thing. If your dinner time is going to change from what your loved one is used to having, you need to keep their dinner time the same. Now, I know during the holidays you want to include your loved one. Either make the dinner around your loved one's schedule or do it outside of their schedule because you don't want to get them off their routine because that's going to set them back a little bit. It can cause agitation. It can cause frustration. It can cause them not to sleep well that night or the next couple of nights, even. When they get off their routine, it really does set them back. So it's really important to keep in mind that whatever you do, keep their routine as close as possible to the way it needs to stay the way it is every single day. You don't want to disrupt that. Um, just keep it really, really simple. Now, on the other um, side of that, when we have our holidays, we have guests come over and we exchange gifts and we have games. And now that's all okay too if you do that with your family. Just remember, um, if you're going to do that, I would do it with small groups, not like a, lots and lots and lots of people, because it can become, again, overstimulating for your loved one. Also, the noise level. The noise level is going to be a huge factor in causing distractions for your loved one if it's too much or overwhelming, especially if you're playing games. Like we like to play games with the grandkids, and so they can win prizes and candies and whatever, and just all the hoopla, and so when we're doing that, we need to keep in mind that how much of a distraction is it going to be for grandma? Is she going to be able to handle it? Um, Now, my grandmother likes a little bit of interaction because she likes the attention, and so she even tries to participate sometimes when we do things, but we still have to do it minimally without a lot of yelling. Um, not, I mean, we can laugh, but we can't get, hysterical. We just have to really keep it on the downgrade, so to speak, if that makes sense. Also, what are you doing about presents? I'm really curious to find out how you guys are handling Christmas presents. So, this is the first year that every year I'm asked, hey, what should we get grandma for Christmas? And normally they know what to get her because they know her kids and her loved ones, her family. Um, and a lot of times that's okay. But the thing is sometimes is they buy her gifts that she no longer is interested in or no longer will need, and has no use for. And it's kind of hard to tell your family, hey, don't buy her that anymore because she's not gonna, she doesn't know what it is. And so my grandma's big on candy. Her favorite candy during the Christmas holiday is the chocolate covered cherries. Now, she's at a point where when she eats, if the food is too rich or not, or if it's not soft enough, or if it's too heavy of a meal, she will choke on it. She chokes on chocolate really easily, anything chocolate. And I don't know if you know how rich chocolate covered cherries are. I choke on them because they're so rich. They're delicious. I can only eat like one or two of them because I will start choking. They're just super, super rich for me. So for her, even though they're her favorite candy, you could still give her one. My advice would be to break it into small pieces and give her little tiny bits of it at a time. I know that sounds kind of ridiculous because they're only this big, but cut it up anyway and just give her little tastes of it at a time, and make sure you have water handy. We make sure anytime that she is eating anything that we have a full cup of water there for her and we are close by. We don't go too far when she's eating because she chokes quite a bit, and we've had to save her um, on more than a handful of occasions where she's almost choked to death. So she's at that stage where she's struggling to get food down, and we are not quite at the point where we have to puree her food yet. She can still eat like cottage cheese and applesauce and scrambled eggs and mashed potatoes and things like that. Soups she can eat. Sometimes she doesn't want that stuff. She wants the heavier food. She just can't eat it because she's going to choke on it. And even certain juices my grandma chokes on, so we have to be careful. I don't give her juice with her food. I give her water, and then I give her her juice after her food. And even with her juice, I give her water. So if she starts choking, she has something to help kind of wash that down with. So be very cognizant of the food that's being prepared. Now, I know certain smells, certain sounds, certain things that you're going to be doing are going to be very familiar to your loved one. Like I said, my grandma loves Christmas. She used to love to put up her tree, put up her ornaments and stuff like that. It's okay to keep things familiar, for your loved one, um, but just try not to make it overwhelming for them. Like I said, that overstimulation can cause agitation, and you don't want that. You really don't want that. You want to be able to enjoy what it is that is going on with them during the holiday season, as well as enjoy your time too. Now, I'm not saying don't have a good holiday season and make sure everything is like, you know, it's got to be, you know, revolved around that. But if you are taking care of someone in your home, you really do need to be mindful of that because you're going to have your hands full if you don't. That's my suggestion. So also just remember that you don't want to have too many people coming over and visiting at a time because it's going to cause burnout for them. They're going to get tired more quickly. It'll be overwhelming for their mind to comprehend even the conversation. And so you don't want to have everybody just coming. Break it up. Tell your loved ones if they want to come see her, have a couple on one day and a couple on another day, and have them, not to be rude, but don't have them stay for very long because um for my grandmother, I mean, she loves the attention, don't get me wrong, she loves it, but she is not able to entertain like she used to. My grandma used to be the one that would put on the Christmas, put on the dinner, she would make all the cookies and she would do all of that. So she was the one um, basically doing all of the serving and giving and all of that for the family. And now that she's not able to do that, it causes a little bit of confusion. So I want to make sure that you understand that you just don't want, you want to avoid that at all costs. So, um, if you need to, some traditions in your past, you might have to let that go. Or do it around her schedule so where she's not, or she or he, for me, it's a she. So like I said, when we put up the tree, we have a tradition on as how we put the tree up. We put Christmas music on, we're dancing around and we're playing with the stockings and we're just having a, good time. Um, that would be too much for her. So we needed to make sure that we did it on a time where she wasn't in the room. Not that we didn't want her to participate, like I mentioned. So also, you want to make sure that you keep things as familiar to her as you can. And I know a lot of times people like to mix things up or try something new or whatever. The more familiar to her, the better off she's going to be because you need to remember with dementia, their memory isn't there. But what they do remember sometimes is the familiarity, the things that have been repetitiously done year after year after year. So that can be something that creates a calm environment for them, something that makes it joyful and pleasant for them to be able to enjoy that time of year with you. Okay. So, another thing I want to mention that I found was really interesting because my grandmother just turned 95 in November after Thanksgiving or at Thanksgiving, that when she was given presents, she couldn't open them. They were too hard for her to open. So that helped me to know that for her Christmas presents, I need to make them as easy as possible for her to open. So I would suggest, this is just me suggesting here, you can do what you want. Either wrap it really loosely, very minimal tape, really easy to tear. Make sure you have room. If it's a box or something that you want them to untape, make sure you leave room to where they can put their fingers in there and pull it because they can't tear it. They can't get a hold of it. My grandma really struggled with almost every single present that she had, and even opening cards, she couldn't do. So what I learned is just have them opened up already and then she can take them out. So help her out because you don't want to make her feel like she's incompetent and not able to do something because that kind of degrades her independence. And we don't want to do that. We just want to give them a little bit of and help them through what they're going through because we want them to have a good time too. And yes, we want to see them open their presents. A good suggestion is put things in bags with tissue over the top. That's pretty easy. You can pull out the tissue and just pull out the present. Real simple, super simple. Or even wrap it in tissue paper and just put one little piece of tape on it so it just tears right off. Or the package just pretty much slides right out almost. Just make it simple and easy for them to take care of and handle. Like I said, I don't know where you're at with your loved one, what stage you're in, if you're in the beginning, middle, or towards the end stages with Christmas. Um, it can be very cumbersome when you're trying to figure out how to get through the holiday and try to cope and take care of your loved one who is going through this horrible disease, which we all do not like. Nobody likes this disease. I haven't found anybody yet. Um, and if they do like it, I don't know, there might be something maybe I don't know. I don't know if they have some pointers or something that they could give us. But um, so I just want to suggest that for the holiday season that you just try to keep it simple. So also something that's kind of fun during the holidays, something that really helps your family during the holidays is photographs. If you have old photo albums or photos that you can bring out and put them around so your loved ones can see them and be reminded of people that they've cared for their whole life, and have been in their life and stuff like that. You just really want to make sure that you are keeping everything on the down low. I don't know. I'm probably repeating myself at this point because I've kind of basically given you most of my tips. um, I want to make sure I'm looking at my notes here because I made notes before I started this. Yep, I pretty much have covered almost everything so far. So, but before we do that, I do want to go over today's um, fun tip of the day. Now, like I said, when we think of dementia, We don't think of anything fun. I don't know about you. There's nothing fun about dementia. So I like to add in the tip of the day, a fun tip, a fun fact, just something just to kind of enlighten the mood and enhance what we're doing. Being a caregiver, there's so much involved with it that it's really important that we remember to smile and laugh and still enjoy, life as we can. It's not always easy, okay? Um, so today I wanted to share my fun tip with you today, and hold on, let me find it here. I just had it. One of the tips I wanted to share for today. Okay, how many of you are familiar with reflexology? When we think about a person with dementia, we think mostly that their mind is gone, okay? But their mind might be gone, but their touch is not. So, fun fact of the day, try reflexology. You can do it on their feet or on their hands. Now, there's certain spots on their hands and there's certain spots on their feet that actually stimulate body's reactions. So, if your loved one is has an upset stomach and you pressure rub the bottom of their foot in their palm and in the like palm area of their foot and you push and push and push, it actually helps stimulate them to use the restroom. I know that sounds kind of weird. That's the fun tip today. Reflexology is a thing, especially in patients with dementia. So I don't know if you know about that or not, but a lot of times when we take care of our loved ones, we don't think about, hey, maybe I should massage their feet, or hey, maybe, sometimes my grandma has really bad arthritis in her hands, and I'll hold her hands. And when I hold her hands, I just massage them. And I like to take lotion and just rub them on her hands. And when I do all of her pedicures on her feet. So when I do her pedicures, I really massage her feet. Sometimes I tickle her and she gets to giggling, which is a lot of fun. Makes me laugh, makes her laugh. But so I try to, massage to where I'm not, making her laugh too much. But it's a really interesting tip to know that we just because they're losing their mind doesn't mean they don't have a sensory to touch or feel. So the tip of the day today is test it out, try it with your loved one, do some reflexology, look it up, and I am going to be doing a whole study on it and sharing that later on. But I don't want to go in that too much today because I want to keep it focused around the holidays. So that is my tip of the day. And this is my message that I wanted to share with you all for the holiday, that I hope that you guys will continue to celebrate your loved ones as much as you would at any other time. And even though it can be difficult during the time while they have dementia, that you just remember to stay focused on the positive things and just keep pushing through because it's super important. And as long as they're here and you're taking care of them, you're doing great. And also remember to take care of yourself. Okay. You matter too. Make sure you take some time for yourself during the holidays so you get to enjoy it. I know it's a lot of work to try to focus and try to do everything for everyone. Um, but make sure you do something for yourself. Even get some reflexology for yourself. That would be great for you. You will love it. Absolutely love it. It feels amazing. It's wonderful. It relaxes you. It helps detensify you. It just brings things down into a whole new, calmer realm. Trust me, it works. I promise. So today, I just want to thank you all for being here. This was another great episode of Until My Watch is Over. So um, until we meet again, I hope you all have a great holiday season and have fun. Have fun for as long as you can. Okay? So take care and God bless.